So I've enjoyed the first two of the Devolution series, and I'm always looking forward because apparently there's 4 albums in the series. So is number 3 going to stack up very nicely to the first two? Well, let's find out. Devolution series number 3, live in America. So this is by Devin Townsend, and we should all know who Devin Townsend is by this point. Canadian progressive metal artist. This is his third of the Devolution series. The first one came out just in the throes of the pandemic, like right in beginning of 2021, and that was the acoustically inclined live in Leeds. And I really like how it was just the acoustic set, just him and the guitar, and it was very personal. I feel like all 3 of these so far are really showcasing Devin's personality with a crowd and how he's able to kind of balance the interactions, to allow himself to be on the stage and allow himself to be himself, as well as interact with the audience and feed off the energy of the audience themselves. The next one was Series 2, The Galactic Quarantine, and this one is much more of the live show experience. This was one of the lockdown sessions where it was him and a bunch of people all across the world coming together to do this live performance when a lot of people were kind of doing that. There's a part of me that kind of wishes that we got more of that now that we're out of the pandemic, where artists would put on these virtual concerts for those who don't have access to the concert going experience yet. This one leaned a little bit more heavy. There was a lot more heavy stuff going on here, a lot more aggressive and metal works on there. I was kind of looking forward to the next one because it's been 2 years. Both of these came out in 2021, a little 20 years in the future in that sense. And so now we get Empath live in America. And this was basically what I got to see when I saw Devin Townsend just at the beginning of the pandemic. I remember seeing this the last couple of days in February, February 27th or 28th, before the big lockdown mandates in the March of 2020. And that was the kind of show that we got. And he was promoting Empath at the time. So, we got a few stuff from Empath, like Evermore, Why. Within the Fuck Around section, Sprite is kind of played around with a little bit. And I want to get to the things that I love about this one first. And the thing that I love is the same thing that I loved about the first 2. It's the interactions with the audience. It's him interacting and feeding on the energy of the audience themselves. This is really encaptured within the Fuck Around section because of how much fun he's having, where someone yells out Earth Day. I think it was Earth Day. And he's just like, well, I'll try. And, we didn't rehearse this, so let's just give it a go. And, he gets through the big main section, and the rest of the band kind of picks up on the energy and, fills out as much as they can. And then they do the same thing with Sprite. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the live show in that case. It's the energy, it's the spontaneity, it's the just let's see if it works kind of aspect. And that really does solidify how Devin Townsend approaches music as a whole. And I really found myself loving that. Unfortunately, though, this is the first of the Devolution series where I kind of was scratching my head as to kind of why. And I mean, I know why. It's the business. He needs to finance his next album and whatnot. But there's nothing on this particular album that wasn't already found in the live album that he put out to promote Empath back in 2020. The Order of Magnitude Empath Live Volume 1. Because really, all of the tracks are there on Order of Magnitude Empath Live Volume 1, with Evermore being on there, Sprite is actually on there, and we get a few other tracks. Why is on there, Spirits Will Collide, and Castaway with Genesis. So we actually have more on that album. And I feel as though, Devolution Series 3 live in America, it's kind of like a watered down version of that. And in some cases, that's kind of nice because we get to feel this more improv, live, raw kind of an album. But I don't know, there's less music on it. It's a little less polished. So I don't know. I can't think of a time when I would choose the Devolution series number 3 over Order of Magnitude Empath Live Volume 1. It just has more music. It's a little bit a better finished product. Like I said, like Empath Live in America, Devolution Series number 3 is still fine. Like, it's fine. It's live Devin Townsend music, and I like how everybody's playing together. It's a little bit stripped back in that kind of a sense. You know, it's not quite as grand and large and polished in that case. I guess it's kind of like matters of opinion, right? Do you want your live show to be a little bit more raw, a little bit more improv styles, a little bit more cutthroat, you know, kind of like, will it work? Won't it work? You know, there's a lot of things that are tried but don't quite work kind of thing. Or do you want it to be that polished, very flashy, very big, very grand sound? So yeah, if anything, this is like a really nice companion piece to Order of Magnitude. I would have honestly liked to see one of his other lockdown sessions to be released as the Devolution Series number 3. Even though like each one is kind of taking a different aspect, like I would have really liked to see one of the ones where he was just in his own home studio and it was just him, and he was playing around with all the different controllers and switching from camera to camera to camera. I would have almost preferred that, because that was much more of a improv, off the cuff, see what comes kind of an aspect. This one's an interesting one. I would still kind of recommend it. I mean, if you're a Devin Townsend fan, obviously you got to check this one out. If you're not, I would probably just go with the Order of Magnitude rather than this one here. But yeah, it was still great. You know, I love everybody that was on this. And yeah, you could tell that everybody's having a fun time. So this is one that I probably won't be rushing out to pick up, because I do have the other two in my collection, and I probably won't be picking this one up in physical format, only because I already have the Order of Magnitude in record format, and I don't feel as though I need both. So yeah, that's my final verdict, and my final rating for this album is Devin Townsend, Devolution Series number 3, Empath Live in America, is one that I would ultimately stream. Like, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's very, very good. It's just, in comparison with some of the other live albums that Devin Townsend has put out, I don't see the need for this one. You know, I don't see how this adds anything. I don't want to say it's a cash grab, because I could see, you know, this is part of his, you know, trying to finance his own music, so I totally understand why he's doing it. I don't know. I would like to see maybe, like, he did one where I think it was Ocean Machine live, where he did the whole Ocean Machine. Like, that would have been really cool to release. And like I said, he had like 3 or 4 lockdown live albums that he recorded, so I would have liked to see some of those. Because this one, as I mentioned, and I think this is my biggest criticism, it's basically just a retread, but lesser than Order of Magnitude. And I really want to see Empath Live Volume 2 at some point, but yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. I think the only other thing, and I know I can't because obviously this was recorded back in 2020, I would have liked to see a little bit more from Lightwork and Nightwork on it in terms of a live performance, because there's nothing new on this one. Anyway, all that being said, that's all I got. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, please let me know by commenting down below. And that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.